Charles, my name is Jordan, which is kind of annoying this question, but now that LeBron is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history with over 39,000 point careers, also ranking top 5 in assists and still climbing rankings in rebounds, blocks, and steals, all while consistently playing 20-plus seasons at an elite level for an old man, winning 4 championships, 4 MVPs, and making 19 All-NBA teams. Who is better, Jordan or LeBron?
You know, those are some incredible stats.
They are.
Those are some incredible stats. I'm never going to say anything bad about LeBron, I told you. I think he's the 3rd best player I've ever seen play after Michael and Kobe.
Why is ring culture so much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports?
Yeah, it's funny, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything.
But you have to really play hard. Does that hurt you physically?
No, because when I play hard all the time. You know, there's no turn it on here, turn it off here. It's just 110% at all times.
LeBron James superfan walked up to Charles Barkley convinced he had an airtight case to end the GOAT debate forever. Every stat memorized, every accolade locked and loaded in absolute confidence that the numbers would speak for themselves. What Barkley said next dismantled every single point and exposed exactly why the stats-only argument for LeBron falls apart when you put it in front of someone who actually watched both players dominate in their prime. This wasn't some talking head chasing clicks with a hot take. Barkley played against Michael Jordan at his absolute peak, spent decades watching LeBron from the broadcast booth, and has zero incentive to twist the truth about what he witnessed. By the time he finished talking, everyone in that room understood something the spreadsheets and highlight reels can never capture, and the numbers he dropped are going to shift how you think about this entire debate. Picture the scene for a second. Barkley is doing a fan Q&A session when this guy approaches the microphone, and his name happens to be Jordan, which makes the whole thing even more ironic. You can tell immediately that he came prepared because he's got that courtroom energy, like he's about to deliver a closing argument that can't be beaten. The stats start flying out of his mouth like rapid fire. Over 40,000 career points, making LeBron the all-time leading scorer, top 5 in assists, and still climbing the rankings in rebounds, blocks, and steals. 22 seasons of elite-level basketball with 4 championships and 4 MVPs to go along with 21 All-NBA team selections. These numbers land like haymaker punches, and the crowd starts buzzing because on paper that resume sounds absolutely untouchable. How do you argue against the all-time leading scorer who also sits top 5 in assists? And how do you dismiss 21 All-NBA teams across more than 2 decades of production? The fan wraps up his presentation and basically demands that Barkley explain how anyone could possibly stack up against those credentials. And that's when everything shifts. Barkley sits there for a moment with this look on his face, like a teacher about to explain something painfully simple to a student who thinks they've outsmarted the curriculum.
I love LeBron. I'm not going to say anything bad about him. He didn't go to college for 3 years. You have to factor that in also. He had a 3-year head start on Michael. Okay, since you want me that. So, I'm going to just give a couple of things about, if he wanted to do it fair, he would say, well, how many games did Michael Jordan play compared to LeBron?
The first thing out of Barkley's mouth catches the fan completely off guard because he doesn't trash LeBron at all. Those stats are incredible, and LeBron is an amazing player, one of the greatest Barkley has ever seen, according to his own words. But then the first bomb drops, and it's the one that stat warriors never want to acknowledge. LeBron skipped college entirely and entered the NBA at 18 years old, while Jordan spent 3 years at North Carolina before going pro, which gave LeBron a 3 to 4 year head start from the very beginning. Every counting stat in LeBron's column includes thousands of points, rebounds, and assists that Jordan never had the opportunity to accumulate because he was still playing college basketball. And here's where Barkley reframes the entire conversation with one simple question. If you want a fair comparison, why not look at how many points each player scored in the same number of games played? That math reveals something the raw totals hide completely. Jordan scored roughly 5,000 more points than LeBron across the same number of contests. And 5,000 points translates to about 2.5 full NBA seasons worth of scoring. Barkley kept pushing. Jordan broke his foot in his second season and missed almost the entire year, then walked away from basketball for 2 full seasons to play minor league baseball. Give those years back and the whole picture changes. If Jordan had entered the NBA at 18 like LeBron, if the broken foot never happened, and if baseball never called his name, Michael Jordan would be sitting at the top of the all-time scoring list right now instead of LeBron. The fans stood there without a response because the logic is airtight. And when you adjust for the extra seasons LeBron accumulated, the gap vanishes entirely and actually reverses direction.
And actually, if you look at the numbers, Michael actually had 5,000 more points in his career, same number of games. 5,000, which is 2.5 NBA seasons. But you have to factor in, Michael went to college for 3 years. And if you remember, he broke his foot his first year, and he retired for 2 years. So if Michael went to the NBA 3 years sooner, not missed his rookie year with a broken foot, and not retired for 2 years, he would be the all-time leading scorer.
Barkley was just warming up at that point because another stat had recently surfaced on Inside the NBA that genuinely shocked him. And this one puts the whole longevity argument into a completely different light. 5 on 62 games where Jordan scored 30 or more points across 15 seasons. That's the number. LeBron James, after 22 seasons of professional basketball, sits at 559 30-point games, which means 7 additional years of playing time still haven't been enough to catch Jordan in explosive scoring performances. When Ernie Johnson brought up that stat, Barkley's reaction told the whole story. He called it astonishing that someone could play that many more seasons and still trail Jordan in that category. And honestly, that reaction makes sense because this single number demolishes the idea that longevity automatically equals greatness. What the 30-point game comparison really reveals is that Jordan operated at a different level on a nightly basis. He wasn't just stacking points over time, but dominating individual games in ways LeBron simply hasn't matched with the same frequency. Jordan's career scoring average sits at 30.1 points per game, the highest mark in NBA history, while LeBron comes in at 27.0. 10 scoring titles went to Jordan during his career, compared to exactly 1 for LeBron. When you look at those numbers together, the all-time scoring record starts looking a lot less impressive, because LeBron didn't reach it by outscoring Jordan, he reached it by outlasting him. And those are 2 completely different achievements.
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Did you ever look at how many shots Michael Jordan took and how many shots LeBron took?
I did not.
Michael Jordan.
They were both gunners.
Michael Jordan took way more shots.
Well, that was his job.
You know, it's all about winning championships and winning.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
This is where Barkley's argument moves beyond
statistics into territory that genuinely bothers LeBron supporters because the numbers stop mattering. And the conversation becomes about how these 2 players built their careers. Jordan's entire championship run happened with one franchise. The Chicago Bulls drafted him. The Detroit Pistons beat him up for years in the playoffs. And instead of looking for an easier path elsewhere, he stayed and figured out how to conquer them. What he built in Chicago transformed a struggling organization into the greatest dynasty of the 90s, producing 6 championships in 8 years. With the same core group and 0 instances of abandoning ship when adversity showed up, LeBron took a completely different route. 7 years in Cleveland without getting over the hump led to the decision and a move to Miami to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That single choice rewrote how superstars approach their careers and basically invented the modern super team era where stars coordinate in free agency to chase rings instead of building something where they already are. Miami started declining and LeBron headed back to Cleveland where he immediately pushed for a Kevin Love trade. That situation got difficult too, which led to another departure for Los Angeles and a partnership with Anthony Davis. 4 different franchises, 3 different championship cores that he either joined or personally constructed. John Starks battled Jordan and the Bulls throughout the 90s and put it perfectly. Jordan wanted to face the best and felt no need to chase other players to join his squad because he believed he was the best player alive. That mentality, that willingness to prove yourself against whoever shows up without rigging the matchup in your favor, separates the truly great from the strategically successful. After all this back and forth, someone poses the ultimate question to the fan. Forget the spreadsheets for a moment. In your heart, one game to win with everything on the line in a Game 7 scenario. Who are you taking between LeBron, Michael, and Kobe? LeBron was the answer, and the fans stuck to his position.
So and let me tell you something. LeBron, we compare him favorable to Magic Johnson. He's a more of a triple threat than Michael was. I'll agree with that. But let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me in your heart.
All right.
If you had one game and you said, I need to win Game 7, would you want LeBron, Michael, or Kobe in one game win all?
LeBron.
Okay.
And here's the wild part. That response actually supports Barkley's argument more than it helps LeBron's case. Michael Jordan never played a Game 7 in the finals during his entire championship career. 6 trips to the NBA Finals, and not once did a series reach a 7th game because Jordan closed teams out before they got the chance to make it interesting. 6 championships with 6 Finals MVP awards and a perfect record on basketball's biggest stage. Jordan didn't just collect rings, but dominated the finals at a level nobody has matched before or since. Averaging 33.6 points per game across 35 finals contests, the 1993 series against Phoenix produced a 41-point average for the entire matchup, and that number is not a misprint. The Bronze finals record tells a different story. 10 appearances, which stands as an incredible accomplishment on its own, but 6 of those ended in losses, including 3 against the same Golden State Warriors squad. A 4-6 record means more championship rounds lost than won. The standard response is that losing in the finals beats not making it there at all, and there's logic in that statement. But Jordan did make it there 6 times and won every single one of those series. Nobody ever got the chance to call him a loser on the biggest stage because he flat out refused to lose when everything was on the line. The conversation shifts here from accomplishments to competitive identity because there's a detail most people don't know about that reveals everything about the gap between Jordan's era and the modern game. Jordan's Bulls contracts included something called the love of the game clause, and what it allowed was absolutely insane by today's standards. If Jordan was driving down the street and spotted a pickup game happening at a park, he could pull over, jump in, and play. If he got hurt doing it, his entire contract stayed fully guaranteed.
The love of the game is still there. I can feel it from you, right? How did that love of the game fuel your career?
It was the basis of my career. My love of the game within my contract, which, I'm pretty sure most contracts now, I'm actually positive now, don't have that clause within the contract where...
You had a clause in your contract.
Love of the game contract, right, that if I was driving with you down the street and I see a basketball game on the side of the road, I can go play in that basketball game. And if I get hurt, my contract is still guaranteed. I love the game so much that I would never let someone take the opportunity for me to play the game away from me.
It might not be in the team's best interest, in your best interest, to play all 82. Is that something you thought about at all since you made the goal?
That's a goal, but we'll see.
The next day.
I'm available to go and be in the pro. If OBJ shows up, he might score 100.
That needs a moment to sink in. A man making tens of millions of dollars with everything to lose specifically demanded a clause allowing him to play random basketball whenever he wanted because the idea of someone telling him he couldn't play was unacceptable. That's not a business calculation, but pure love for the game at a level modern players simply don't operate at. Today's NBA functions in the complete opposite direction. Stars can't ride motorcycles. Insurance policies ban dozens of activities. Playing pickup games without permission results in fines. The entire system exists to protect the investment and keep guys bubble wrapped until game time. And within that system, players sit out games at historic rates. 9 different times, Jordan played all 82 regular season games throughout his career. LeBron James, in 22 seasons, has managed that feat exactly once. Jordan's final season with the Washington Wizards at age 40 saw him play every single game while averaging 37 minutes per night. That minute total would lead the entire NBA today because no player in 22 and 23 seasons averaged more than 37 minutes per game, meaning a 40-year-old Jordan was providing more effort and availability than superstars currently in their physical prime. That intangible difference is something statistics can never measure. Jordan showed up to dominate every single night and treated every game as a chance to prove he was the best player on the floor. LeBron's approach focused more on managing his body over the long haul, picking spots carefully and accumulating numbers across extended time. Neither philosophy is necessarily wrong, but one produces undeniable dominance, while the other produces impressive longevity, and history tends to remember dominance with more reverence. What should concern LeBron supporters most is that Barkley isn't alone in this position. Legends spanning multiple generations keep landing on the same side of this conversation. Julius Erving, one of the greatest players in ABA and NBA history, placed Jordan on his first team all time, while LeBron didn't even crack the second squad. The super team stacking served as his specific reasoning. Stephen Marbury pushed even harder when the topic came up, questioning how LeBron could be considered better than Jordan when Marbury doesn't even consider him better than Kobe. That hierarchy puts LeBron in third place among players from his own generation. Magic Johnson has repeatedly discussed how the modern game lacks the competitive fire that defined his era. Genuine hatred existed between him and Larry Bird during the season, and that animosity drove both of them toward greatness. Today, stars vacation together and record podcasts as friends, replacing the rivalry that made basketball must-watch television with buddy-buddy coaching.
What's happened to the rivalries in today's game? Like, I mean, we
don't hate each other.
That's
they don't like. See, I hated Larry and every Celtic. I really don't like you, but you my little brother. Now I love you because you out of that green and white. That's what it was, right? You the Celtics, Lakers hate each other, disliked each other. So it made for great TV and people tuning in. And now with, I don't know if it's AAU, I don't know what it is. Now everybody's shaking each other's hand. Everybody like each other, won't go at each other like really hard. Even that's what happened to the All-Star game, see?
Yeah.
See, the All-Star
carried into the All-Star game. Right there.
See, we hated the East.
Right.
I'm coming to bust you.
Right.
Michael, Isaiah, Dr. J. You can't have one over me. See, I'm coming to get that.
The Athletic polled active NBA players in 2024 about the GOAT question, and Jordan polled 45.9% compared to LeBron's 42.1%. These aren't retired legends nursing grudges, but the guys currently playing in the league, and they still give the edge to someone who last played over 20 years ago. That result reveals how the basketball community actually views this debate when nobody's performing for cameras. Putting the raw accomplishments side by side makes the picture extremely clear because the comparison leaves very little room for interpretation. 6 championships for Jordan versus 4 for LeBron. But the more important distinction is 6-0 compared to 4-6 in finals appearances. Jordan never experienced defeat on the biggest stage during his entire career. 5 MVP awards went to Jordan and 4 to LeBron. But Jordan captured those 5 in fewer seasons, which means the league recognized his peak more consistently during a shorter window of dominance. Finals MVP tells an even clearer story, with Jordan winning 6, 1 for every championship he ever captured. No championship run ever saw him riding someone else's performance to a title, because he stood as the best player in every finals he played. LeBron owns 4 finals MVPs, matching his 4 championships. Scoring titles reveal a gap that isn't remotely close. Jordan won 10, while LeBron won 1, meaning Jordan finished as the best scorer in the entire league for 10 separate seasons. And that level of offensive dominance sustained across that many years has no match in basketball history. All defensive first-team selections went to Jordan 9 times, compared to LeBron's 5. People forget that Jordan wasn't just an offensive force, but one of the greatest perimeter defenders the game has ever seen, and remains the only player to win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Add everything together, and Jordan's 13 full seasons produced 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, 9 all-defensive selections, and a perfect finals record. LeBron and Kevin Durant's careers combined, nearly 40 seasons of basketball between them, have produced fewer championships, fewer MVPs, fewer scoring titles, and fewer all-defensive honors than Jordan accumulated by himself. Two of the best players from this generation, playing for almost 40 combined years, still can't match what one man did in 13. That's not interpretation or bias, but simple arithmetic. The LeBron superfan approached that microphone certain he had an unbeatable case, built on all those points, all those assists, and all those years of elite production. Raw accumulation was supposed to settle the argument permanently. What Barkley demonstrated, and what every legend from that era keeps trying to communicate, is that greatness isn't measured by games played or stats piled up over extended careers. Championships won matter more than finals losses accumulated. Dominance sustained carries more weight than longevity achieved. 13 seasons of absolute destruction was all Jordan needed to build his legacy. He arrived, conquered everything in sight, and departed with a perfect finals record that nobody in modern basketball has approached. LeBron James stands without question among the greatest players to ever step on a basketball court, with historic longevity, remarkable versatility, and undeniable impact on the sport. But when you line him up against Michael Jordan using the metrics that actually define greatness, the titles, the finals record, the peak dominance, and the competitive mentality, a clear gap emerges. Every legend who competed against both eras keeps repeating the same observations because they witnessed something with their own eyes that no stat sheet will ever convey. Jordan operated differently. Jordan brought an ice-cold ruthlessness. Jordan refused to lose when everything mattered, and that's why more than 2 decades after his final game, these conversations continue happening, because his shadow stretches so far that even the greatest players who followed him can't escape it. Drop your thoughts in the comments about whether LeBron's longevity argument holds up against Jordan's peak dominance, or if the perfect finals record closes the case permanently. Smash that like button if this breakdown resonated, and subscribe because we're just getting started exposing the truth behind basketball's biggest debates.